This is a huge month in the PFL, certainly as we go to Cape Town, South Africa on July 19th. And you talk about two absolute headliners, and one of those joins us right now here on Coach's Corner. She is the face of the PFL, the one and only Dakota Ditcheva. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I'm really well. I'm good.
Well, I know that you are the most happy when you know you have a fight in the very near future. How excited are you that in just a couple of weeks you're stepping back into the smart cage?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited, especially having just been to Chicago. I'm definitely like pumped up for it now for sure. I can't wait.
I'm glad you mentioned that. How much when you're around a vibe like that? Because Chicago was
Mhm.
awesome, had some great fights. We kind of cemented our world tournament. When you are around all of that kind of stuff, what does that do to you?
I mean, it makes you want to get in there and then, like seeing everyone else fighting and getting the feelings for it and the nervous feelings when your teammates are fighting and stuff like that. It definitely like puts you in the field and makes you feel like you're doing it yourself. So I'm just happy that I'm only 2 weeks away and I haven't got to wait too much longer.
Now I know, and you've said several occasions you like to be busy. In a perfect world, Dakota, what is busy for you?
Busy would be like last year, 4 times back in a tournament. I mean, this year the season's only like 3 fights. I liked it when it was four, so yeah, that would be my idea of a busy year, and something that would make me happy would be to fight 4 times.
Wow. So is there, and again, I happen to have the numbers of all the power players here. Would Dakota Ditcheva in, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if offered a spot in the world tournament, is that something that you would want to do?
100%, yeah, I would do that every single year.
It's so amazing. I love that you have that attitude, because I really thought that this year with the tournament that a lot of you fighters would be like, no, we want the season. It's kind of been split because they like the fact that April, June, and
Yeah.
August. And for you, you absolutely love that schedule.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that catches a lot of attention for fighters that like don't struggle to make weight and like to stay busy. It's perfect because PFL is like the one organization that offers you that kind of structure. Like I knew last year when my 4 fight dates would roughly be, and that was my plan for the year. I wasn't like sat here waiting for a fight like I was this year. You know, I was just like set and my mind was set. And that's something that a lot of fighters really, really want. So for a season like that last year, I would have happily done that again because my mind was like completely focused and knew when I was going to be fighting. And this year, I feel like I've had to learn how to sit back again and just like
Yeah.
do what normal fighters do and just wait for a fight date. And it's been a little bit strange for me.
I think that's what fascinates people the most, because I have people that ask me about all of you, and you're probably the one I get asked about the most.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she really at her core, because they see everything else that you've become, the
Yeah.
fashion plate. You love doing a lot of things outside the cage, but at your core, you're a fighter. And when I tell people, no, this is really what she loves, I think that you're kind of a unicorn in that aspect. But I absolutely love that you have all these different interests, but you know what has gotten you to the table.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of something that my family are very like, we're all humble about it. And we all remind ourselves all the time, like, you wouldn't have anything else if you didn't have the fighting. So make sure that's always like the first thing. Make sure you're still in the gym, you're still training hard, and then you can enjoy everything else that comes with it. But that fighting is like still the most important part and will always be. As soon as you stop fighting, this could possibly all kind of just go. So everything I'm building is kind of set around me still being in the gym and then doing all everything extra.
That's exactly right. I tell all the fighters now that I'm here, I'm like, listen, we're going to push you to the moon. We're going to use social media. We're going to do all that. But you
Mhm.
also have to be successful, and you have to have a style that's very entertaining. You
Yeah.
have that. If you go into the second or third round, you're not happy with that. Where does that killer mentality come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like some fighters have that and some don't. And it's like literally a 1% of fighters that have that like killer instinct. And yeah, I seem to have that. I don't know where from. We joke about it in the family all the time. Like my mum's always been super aggressive when she was fighting. So I definitely get it from her. But that actual like fighting gene, I don't know where the hell it comes from.
Not all fighters, they say, I'm taking my career seriously, but ever since PFL Europe, when you burst
Yeah.
onto the scene, you have taken your career very seriously, so much so that you made American Top Team your home. How
Mhm.
does every single day being in the gym with high level fighters in that gym? How has that helped you?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's got me to where I am now for sure. You know, when I first came over to the States, I just wanted to be like seeing where my level was, training with girls, which I didn't really have in the UK. But I just got, I'm always addicted to like things that challenge me. You know, I don't want anything
Mhm.
easy. So being an American top team every day and being humbled on the mat 24/7, it's what keeps me going. If everything was super easy, I probably wouldn't try as hard. So I feel like that's what keeps me there. And just the life here in Florida and the team that I've got around me is just like a dream.
I've said this that I love like factions, and I would love to create kind of a pro wrestling feel within the PFL. And you did a shoot with Dalton, with Silvera, and another person was in that shoot where you guys all jumped into a convertible. That's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that's really fun, and I think can really elevate you fighters. When you get asked to do something, your middle name is Jess anyway. You're so easy to work with, but that was like a different vibe, and I think really cool. Did you enjoy that shoot?
Yeah, I really did. And Lisa and Eric, they've got always got such amazing ideas. Like the whole team with PFL who puts all them videos together, like they're so clever. Like I always like think about everything that comes with the sport being just as important. You know, you can't just get in
Mhm.
and fight and be super popular, and you can't do all the other stuff without the fighting. So I feel like having brains like Mike and Lisa and Eric all like putting things together, I feel like that's kind of what really elevates us as like fighters. So I love doing that type of stuff. I don't enjoy doing it, filming it, but I trust their ideas and I just kind of do what they say and hope that it turns out the best and it
And I
always does.
and I can tell you this because I'm a part of it, that if you trust, I mean, the names you said are, I mean, Mike's amazing, Lisa's just next level, and
Yeah,
they never want the praise. They just want the PFL to be amplified, and those things. So for other fighters who are not at your level yet, who now are looking at the way the PFL is being run and the production, the digital, and all the videos, what would you say to a fighter that is trying to decide, is PFL where I want to be? Is that where my future needs to be? What would you say to a fighter like that?
yeah, I mean, I would say to just trust. You know, we put our trust in coaches because they see things differently to how we see it in the cage. Same with PFL and promotions like this. Like they see other things that we don't necessarily see. So coming
Mhm.
together and being able to work together is like really, really important. You know, you're not kind of like you're not too big for them and they're not too big for you. You can kind of work together and stay as a team, then it kind of elevates you all together.
No doubt about it. I wish all fighters understood that because that's the
You
future.
know,
That's the way it has to be. You also are very interested in kind of the behind the scenes, how the bread is
yeah.
made. They told me that they took you on a tour of the production truck.
Yeah.
Did you do that? Did you enjoy
I
that?
went, yeah, I went in the broadcast truck. It was crazy. They've got about 100 different TVs in front of them. They've got 1,000 different buttons, and I was just looking at everything like, what the hell? That again is another side. Like fighters during fight week, they get a little bit aggy, they're cutting weight, they get annoyed with PFL staff, and you know they're arguing and they're bickering over certain things. But when you actually think about like what they're doing as their job, it's actually crazy. They're working just as hard as we are when we're getting in the cage. So I feel like the more fighters can understand that and be patient with it, the better.
Well, let's talk about your opponent real quick, and then I know you got to get out of here, Mister Inaba. What kind of problems does she pose for you?
None. None.
None. You don't see
None.
anything on the
But
plate.
I feel like one thing I will say is these girls are going to be most dangerous now because they have nothing to lose. Like they're coming to take everything I have. You know, I won the tournament last year. Anaba Samiko, she's 8-1. I think she's no more. Like she knows what she's doing. She was with Bellator before PFL, so she's been around. She's experienced, and I know that she's going to come and give everything she's got. But she's no problem for me.
What do you see when you see how this fight plays out in your mind? How does it go in your mind?
Well, you guys have had me waiting like 8 months, so expect something crazy. I am ready to go. I'm ready to go. I've been ready for 8 months to fight again, so just expect what you usually see from me.
I think that what you've done really, really well is not only have you cemented yourself as the premier fighter, female, whatever you want to call it, but also the way that you fight other fighters that are looking at you saying, I want a piece of her, they don't say that very often, because when you go out there, you go out to dominate. You don't want a decision. That actually upsets you when you
Yeah.
go to a decision, and I love that about you. And I don't hear a lot of fighters calling you out. Do
No.
you?
No, you hear them like shit talking, but that's about it. That's just to stay relevant, isn't it? But nobody actually like calls me out these days, especially not after I won the tournament last year. Everyone's gone quiet. They were all
All right.
celebrating because I wasn't in the season this year.
Yeah, I know, I know. It was like every knockout you had, quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah. And then that big cheer was, oh, she's not in the tournament this year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. All right, Miss Dakota, I want you to travel safe. Can't
Thank
wait to watch you fight on the 19th. And it is so good to spend time with you once again. Thank you very much.